Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jessie, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire To Inspire. The show where we'll dive into self-love, learn tangible ways to rewire the brain, and discovering your soul's purpose. The goal of Rewire To Inspire is to encourage listeners to begin doing the hard work, to get curious and open to maximizing your life. Our mindset shapes how we live. Depending on life events, traumas, and personal experiences, our mindsets are all vastly different. However, one thing we all have in common is the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative, and to pivot our lives. I hope you leave each episode with the belief that you are so worthy to live a life true to you. I look forward to chatting with you every single Tuesday and Thursday and helping you grow exponentially in all areas of your life. Without further ado, here's today's episode. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my podcast, Rewire To Inspire. I am your host, Jessie Brown, and I am so excited to be jumping on the microphone with you all for episode number 133. If you missed my last episode, number 132, are the people in your life making you more depressed? I definitely encourage you to check out that episode if you haven't already. Very icky question to ask ourselves, but also a very relevant question to ask ourselves. I've been in contemplation lately, a lot, which if you know me, isn't really new. I'm someone who contemplates a lot because I like to understand. I don't accept just surface level reasons. I like to dig deep to figure out the why beneath it. And lately I've been recognizing my podcast is a lot of hard truths. A lot of hard, challenging things that we might not want, but you might actually need. And I promised myself when I started this podcast to speak from my heart, to be honest. And I did an episode last week as well, Is It Time to Be Honest, where I chatted about that and how I'm ready to dial that up. But I'm also recognizing simultaneously how hearing hard truths is very uncomfortable. And as I reflect and recognize that I am someone who likes hard questions, I like to dig deep, I like the reasoning beneath things, I recognize not everybody does. And so if you are tuning into this episode or this podcast consistently, I hope you just take a second to reflect for yourself why that is. Because if you are somebody who appreciates a hard truth, you probably have a lot more belief than you realize. You likely are much more growth-oriented than you realize. Because when we sit in contemplation and we sit with our thoughts and the discomfort of truths, especially about ourselves, instead of worrying about everybody else, and you are turning within, you're choosing the harder road. I never realized how rare this was until this week when I was talking with my coach, which led me to realize how much having a coach has inspired me and encouraged me to want even more hard truths. And so for today, to kind of encompass all this together, we are going to be talking about 5 ways a coach can change your life. I started the role of being a coach in January of this year, so 2023. So it has been roughly 6 months since I began my coaching journey. And it's been interesting. It's been very fulfilling, also massively overwhelming, but very interesting. And I have had a coach for 9 months. I talk about him often. His name is Alan from XOXO University, and I chat about him all the time. The reason I talk about him all the time is because he's given me more hard truths than anybody else in my life. Meaning, in retrospect, he's helped me grow more than anybody else in my life. Specifically in the direction in which I'm trying to go. Relevant to my life now. And as I've been sitting and thinking, I'm like, do people really know the benefits of having a coach? Do people know the power of having a mentor and somebody ahead of you in your life, while also bringing awareness to, we probably avoid that because if we get a coach, that means we're going to get the hard truths, which then means we're left with two choices. Honor them and do the work, or we end up feeling really crummy about ourselves. Because depending where you're at with your self-worth and your belief, hearing hard truths can actually be pretty overwhelming. And so that's why I like to do my coaching through the lens of having a trauma-informed background. Meaning I'm able to pre-assess how much hard truths I want to tell people, while also knowing I can't help you grow if you don't want to learn your blind spots. I can't help you grow if you're not willing to get out of your own way and at least try. And so I was like, okay, let's do an episode about some of the ways a coach can change your life, because I do think there's a lot of stigma. When we hear life coach, we're like, bleh, boring. What if it could change your life? What if getting around a person even twice a month outside of your regular circle could exponentially improve your life? I would bet a lot on that, depending the person that it is, depending the coach that it is. Do I think there's lots of coaches out there that misguide people and should not be coaches? 100%. But that is like any occupation. We need to be able to find somebody who is aligned, that speaks to your values, that you aspire to be somewhat like. Not the same as them, but you look up to their values and their mission. If you can look up to your coach's values and mission, they'll probably be able to guide you pretty accurately. So, 5 ways a coach can change your life. The first one. This one's probably the most obvious, but I think it's overlooked how significant it is. A coach will help you improve your clarity and your focus. Setting goals is very rare. Very rare. I think it's around 22% of people actually set goals, and among that, less than 50% actually achieve them. The reason for that, there's many reasons. A huge one is belief, self-belief. Another thing is, you're not getting specific on how you're going to achieve that goal. It's around 80 or 85% of people after the first month of January, the new year, when we all set new goals, have given up. It's because our perception of goals is so miscued. A goal does not have to be, I'm going to be a millionaire in 10 years. It's like, okay, what does that have to look like? Who do you have to become to get there? What are the daily actions you must take to get there? You're not just going to stumble upon it. If you do, you're upon the 1% of 1% of 1% of people. The system, the clarity and the focus is what's going to get you there. That's why that is the first thing I put on here of how a coach can change your life, is because a good coach should be able to guide you down the path you want to go down, while also simultaneously recognizing what you might think you want to do versus what you actually want to do. So what I mean by that is, how are the persons, places, things, and ideas subconsciously manipulating your perception of what you think you want your life to look like versus what your internal values actually reflect? Since beginning coaching with Alan, what I thought I wanted to do with my life and who I wanted to become compared to what my actual 10 out of 10 truth dial is, huge difference. The difference is that the people that I used to surround myself with, I began to form a belief that all I was worthy of was blank. Now that I'm around people that see the belief in me and are pouring into that, my visions are completely different. My clarity is different. My focus is different. It's bold to say, but I do think it's true that I don't think I could have done that by myself. I needed someone with higher awareness to be able to backtrack where I'm at and guide me forward. A coach allows you to create a blueprint, if you will, for your life. You can't just hire a contracting company and say, okay, build the house. They need to know where, what size, what you want it to look like, how many bedrooms. There's so many specifics. Yet we set these goals that have no backstory, and we're just hoping we stumble upon them. a coach is going to help you to gain clarity around that. They're going to be able to help realign you with what you actually want in life. A good coach will almost know you better than you know yourself, being 2 steps ahead of you in a way. I remember trying to set goals 2 years ago versus how I set goals now. It's completely different. My system is completely different because I recognize the impact of each and every decision that I make and how that is pouring into my big goal. A coach will allow you to bounce those ideas, to get clear on, yep, that'll work, no, that won't work. This is when it comes into play where we need to find a coach that's ahead of us in at least one area. Obviously, there's going to be areas in which you will always be ahead of your coach and vice versa, but holistically, they need to be ahead of you. And you need to know that and trust them to guide you. So that is the first way that a coach can change your life is, I want to say a good coach when I'm saying all this because there's lots of coaches that can't support you in that. A good, mission-driven, growth-oriented coach, a life coach if you will be able to help you find clarity and focus to inspire you faster towards your goals. The second way a coach can change your life, and this one is huge for people, huge. It's accountability. It's someone to check in with. Having someone or something to hold you accountable is life-changing. Just as a small example of how our brains like to have accountability, I do these 30-day yoga challenges. I know exactly what it's like to not know where to turn, to feel alone, helpless, and stuck. My goal as a coach is to help clients from a trauma-informed perspective see your worth and develop self-belief so you may chase your dreams and trust your intuition to live the most aligned, fulfilling life possible. If you're looking to elevate your life to the next level but aren't sure where to start, I would absolutely love to connect. If you're feeling pulled or curious, please use the link in the show notes below to book your free call. I look forward to connecting and supporting you on your own unique journey. I follow this series on YouTube and I'll do day 1 all the way through day 30. Once I start that challenge, I will not stop. I won't stop because to me it's a new day, there's a challenge that has to be done. But as soon as that 30-day mark comes and I've completed it, if I don't roll right over and start another one, I will go weeks without doing yoga. But because I have that accountability, I don't miss, which shows me and tells my mind, you can be consistent with enough grit and reason behind it. A coach is a great, healthy way to have accountability, especially if you feel like those in your circle can't hold you accountable because they're not at the same place as you, which is a whole conversation in and of itself. If you've ever played on a sports team, you know exactly what it's like to work harder because your team is, because you don't want to let them down. But when we get on our own, it's a lot easier to let ourselves down than it is to let down other people. And so a coach is a great way to hold you accountable because you have fear of letting them down. You have fire beneath your arse, if you will, to get your S together and to figure it out. You're investing into a person to help you. It's either you invest and don't take action, but if you're investing in a coach, it's likely because you want to become better. And so knowing that a huge way a coach can help you is there going to be accountability. Someone that checks in with you, someone that's holding you accountable of the things you say you're going to do, of doing homework after each session, of getting after it, of getting outside of your comfort zone. Like, how many of you can sit there right now and say you could hold yourself as equally as accountable as you would if you had a person supporting you, witnessing? So for example, there's a difference between just saying, I'm going to lose 10 pounds and telling your family, I'm going to lose 10 pounds by doing X, Y, and Z by this date. More specific means more accountability. Guess what a coach does? It gets clarity and focus in your noggin so you're able to reverse engineer how to get there. Accountability is huge, you guys. I do truly believe that is one of the biggest reasons we don't accomplish our goals. If we don't have accountability, why would we show up? Who are you behind the scenes? Do you want your goal more front-facing than you are willing to put in the work behind the scenes? Having a coach will help you get there faster because they'll be able to say, hey, you didn't do the thing. What are we doing? You can't want a result more than you're willing to input into it. And so that has been huge for me. Number 3. Hello. Hence why I'm here. Number 3, higher awareness, higher self-awareness, you guys. A huge way a coach can help change your life is by helping you increase your self-awareness. We talk about self-awareness all the time on this podcast. That is not by default. That is because I have raised my self-awareness through osmosis, through having a coach, through learning and evolving. But a lot of it's coming from having a coach. Raising your self-awareness happens when we get curious, we turn within, we contemplate, we heal, we reflect. Nobody better is going to be able to help you do that than a coach. Having a coach that's ahead of you also has someone that you can learn from. Whenever we are learning, we are increasing our self-awareness. And so when we raise our self-awareness, we're also raising our consciousness. When we do that, in a lot of ways, we're also raising our self-belief. The more you know, is what they say, right? Higher self-awareness. Coaches can help you to explore and identify what your specific values and beliefs and passions are. That is one of the main things that I focus on at the beginning of my sessions with new clients. What are you passionate about? What do you care about? What makes you super angry? What makes you super happy? What fulfills you? If you cannot answer that question, you are going to be walking in fog, trying to figure it out. Having someone who's ahead of you, able to educate you and guide you, is going to raise your self-awareness. When we're able to hone in on what our values, passions, and beliefs are, we're also getting to know ourselves better, meaning we're going to get to know what our wants are more, our desires are, painting a better life. So many of us are just out here winging it, hoping for the best, hoping we stumble upon our goals. It's pretty rare that happens, as I already mentioned. Raising your self-awareness is also just one of the most beautiful journeys that you can embark on. We're only promised ourselves, yet so many of us don't even really know ourselves. We know ourselves through the lens of what our parents have perceived onto us through their beliefs, through what our friends have projected onto us through their beliefs, through whatever we surround ourselves with. But how many of us actually know us at the core? After going through therapy and then getting a coach, I feel like my self-awareness is statistically very high. But I know that I know that I know. And I don't say that to brag. I know that that couldn't have happened if I didn't get around people that were ahead of me. If I didn't get away from people that were pulling me back and keeping me stagnant. When we get a coach in so many ways, it's like a mirror that can give us hard truths. Yes, a lot of the coaching that I do is trauma-informed and it is a gentle approach. There are also times when I need to say, we need to get our ass in gear. What are we doing here? Why have we had the same system for 6 months and nothing's changed? What needs to pivot? What's next? It's somebody to push you. A coach is supposed to push you with love. If you constantly have somebody in your corner that's like a mirror, your self-awareness is going to exponentially increase. So that is the third reason. It is going to increase your self-awareness. And you might not even realize it at the time. You might not realize it from week to week, month to month, but year to year, when you look back, you'll be like, holy smokes, I'm not even the same person, because your self-awareness is higher. Your perception is higher. When your awareness is higher, you look at things differently. You contemplate more. And it is a beautiful, beautiful journey. Number 4, quality of life. Your quality of life is going to increase. Is it also going to suck? Yeah. Yes, it is. Because of everything I just said. When we get hard truths, when we're in contemplation, when we're in that growth, it's uncomfortable, but it's supposed to be. And it's uncomfortable short term to set you up for a better quality of life, aka fulfillment in the future. Now, that does not mean that your future will get easier. It does, however, mean your quality of life should increase. Because the more aligned that you are, the more fulfilled you're going to be. The more fulfilled you are, the better your quality of life. Think of a time where you were in a place, a relationship, a job, a circumstance, whatever, and you weren't fulfilled. Your quality of life was probably shit. There's an area of your life, a big component of your life that is leaking. How many of us are walking around pretending our quality of life is great because we numb ourselves out with drugs and alcohol? We're not fulfilled. We're band-aiding our issues. Imagine a world where we all focused on improving, even a little bit. There's scales to this, but even like a little bit, a 1 out of 10 even, 10% of improving and focusing on consciously improving your quality of life. How much kinder would we be to each other? How much kinder would we be to ourselves? A large reason so much drama and stuff happens is because we're not fulfilled internally, and so we project that outwards. Nobody that is fulfilled internally feels the need to lash out or to be a rude person. It's just not how it works. Getting a coach is going to help improve your quality of life. It's also a safe, beautiful space to come and express your truth. When I had 0 friends when I evolved over to wanting to switch my life, my coach was the one safe space where I felt like I could just be myself. And without that, I don't know where I would be. It takes one safe person to change your life. If you struggle to find that, or struggle to find people that truly get you, which if you're a listener of the show, I'm sure that aligns with you even a little bit, getting a coach is going to be that safe space for you. If, again, they're a good coach. I'm presupposing that this coach is great and amazing. Your quality of life is going to increase when you psychologically feel safe to be yourself and to evolve that and to grow that. Okay, so that is number 4, is your quality of life will increase. Number 5, the last way a coach can change your life. And this one's the most obvious in a lot of ways, but it's going to help you to enhance, speed up, whatever, your desired results. A huge part of coaching is focusing on your identity. The things you tell yourself, but more so why you tell yourself them. What is that belief? How long has that been formed? What does that mean about you? What does that mean about the world? What does that mean about how you show up? And when we can focus in on our identity, we can leverage our strengths. When we can leverage our strengths, we can cultivate better outcomes, aka enhancing our results. We also need to think that, let's say I jump on a 1-hour coaching call with my client. What I'm teaching them in 1 hour is actually hours, days, weeks, months, years spent studying behind the scenes. So I'm literally delivering something that I have spent hours, days, weeks, months, or years studying, learning, mastering, and sharing that in a 1-hour call. Think of how much you can get in your brain. This is why books are so amazing, because you are getting endless time in a book that's probably taken someone years to write. A coach is kind of the same. You are getting so much knowledge, again, hopefully, with an hour of your time. Think about the return on investment of that. It's nothing compares in a way. And so your results are going to enhance, because what took me 5 years might now only take you 1. Because you're learning from somebody who's ahead of you. Again, that's the reason why we get a coach, is to get somebody ahead of us that can help us get there faster. That's why we need to find a coach that we desire somewhat of their values and outcomes. Kind of circling back again to clarity and focus. A coach is going to help you make clear goals and a plan. If you have clear plan and goals with a reshaped identity, with somebody that's ahead of you to help you get there and master plan, think how much quicker you're going to get to your desired outcome. It's not even close to trying to figure it out on your own. So many of us are afraid to invest in a coach because we don't know if it's going to be worth it. again, trial and error with different people to see the best fit, but we need to view it as just that word, an investment. It is an investment in your future self. A book is an investment into your personal self. If you can read one book and that is going to compound in so many other areas of your life, read the book. Listen to the podcast. This is investing in your learning right now. Choosing to listen to this, you are investing in yourself. You don't know how that's going to pan out. I don't know how this might be impacting even one person to want to go get a coach. You never know, okay? But that is the fifth way that a coach can change your life, is it's going to help you to enhance your results. And also, if you're dialed in every single day or week or whatever it is, however often, ideally daily, but whatever it is for you, and you are consciously tracking and have awareness on your goals, it's going to be a lot harder to lose sight of them. But if you're just out here winging it, you don't have anything tangible to reflect on. So a coach can help you enhance your results because you're going to have more accuracy to go off of, more contrast to compare to, versus just hoping for the best. So I know coaching isn't for everybody. However, it has changed my life. So much so that I am now on the same journey to do the same for other people. Maybe right now, starting is getting a therapist for you. Finding just a safe mentor person to get around is going to change your life. I know that you value what your friends say, what your mom says, what your dad says, and so do I. But I also need to recognize when they can accurately guide me and when it's something outside their competence. Just because mom or grandma says something doesn't mean it's fully true. It's their truth based on their awareness. But are they trying to achieve the same outcome as you are? If the answer is no, they cannot guide you accurately. We need to know that. It doesn't mean that mom and grandma aren't knowledgeable and amazing people that we can learn from. It's just to what degree. And this is also going to be, in relation to what your goals are. Because if you don't have big goals or dreams, some of this is kind of pointless. But if you don't have big goals and dreams just because you don't really know what that could look like for you, but you're curious about it, I definitely think you could benefit from having a coach and just seeing where it takes you. So you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, 5 ways a coach can change your life. I'm sharing fully from my heart to your guys' ears that it can and will change your life should you be willing to give it a go and actually give it your all and be invested into it. You never know what could happen. Again, it's going to depend on who the coach is, who the person is, who the mentor is, who the therapist is. However, we need to normalize getting around people that are ahead of us and learning from them outside of just our immediate circle. So if you guys enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the absolute world to me if you guys could rate this show, leave a review below, click that little plus sign. I release a new episode every single Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you, and I look forward to chatting with you all on Thursday. Bye, you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Rewire to Inspire. I absolutely love connecting with you all, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am at Jessie Brown 13. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a review or share with someone you think would enjoy. I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. And remember, get out of your head and into your heart.